Anyone else? You're pointing. Oh, there you go. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. It's even more difficult to extend intervention to children with disabilities. I was thinking similarly, again, I'm talking, sorry, about adolescents and children with addictions, right? Those interventions like finding the right mental health professionals, finding the right clinicians, finding the right support can be tough. Dealing with addictions. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We mostly do intervention work and we recognize how important prevention is.
Yeah.
But we don't have the capacity to do both well.
Yeah. Limited capacity. Limited capacity. There's only so many people, so many hours, so many resources. Excellent. All right. I also want to hear, let's hear a few strengths. How about a few strengths? What's going well? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Makes sense, right? Yes. Yay. Working with a culture and mindset that values kinship care. That's excellent. What else? Let's have at least one more strength, or it looks like we're being negative. Access. Excellent. Access to training. Access to equipping. Excellent. All right, and then my last question for you is what questions do you have around intervention? Now, just to give you a little insight into my marriage, which you didn't ask for, but here goes. Because this really is how things play out in our house. I am an outward processor. If you ask me a question, I have 5 answers immediately. They're probably not right or good answers, but boy, I've got them fast. My husband thinks on it. He's an inward processor. He's quiet, 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 and then he comes up with this perfect deep question. So when I say questions, if you are the inward processor, you will come up with amazing questions later. So the markers and this paper are out. So please add what you think later. If someone is like, I've got a question right now, how could this work? I want to hear it from the people like me who have quick answers. But if not, please think and add to our list, really any of these areas, because you're helping kind of shape our discussion tomorrow, and we want to know where people are, how are they doing in all of this. So, any quick processors have a question you want to share? All right, that works for me. Please feel free to be invited to come up at any point and add to our list. Thank you, Diane and Alina. And all right, we're going to continue on. Session 3, Alina.
So now we have some group activity, and our first task will be to talk again in our groups about where we are currently engaging in intervention across the region. I'm just going to read again the questions just to help you so that you don't have to suffer reading from the screen. Where are we currently engaging in intervention across region? Which foundation strengthens our intervention most right now? Where are the gaps or risks I'm just repeating the questions. Don't stop talking. You can continue talking. What questions do we carry into tomorrow within the session we will be attending? Would like to move to the second task that we have, and I would like you guys to work and answer in your groups the following. First of all, identify one strength of the region. One strength of the region. Second, one concern about the region. And third, one question about intervention in the region. So, for the next 5 minutes, we'll do this task number 2. So again, answer the following as well. Identify one strength of the region, one concern of the region, and one question about intervention in the region. So 5 more minutes.
Okay, it's time to summarize and close. We thank you for what we hear as chatter, which means that you are learning from each other, right? And that's one of our principles. Learn from each other, learn from the experts. Choose actions, things that you can do, and hold each other accountable. I love it. When we're looking at, I want to give you a very, very quick story of safety, permanency, and well-being. In Ohio, there's a place called Ohio Soldiers and Sailors Home. It was an orphanage. That orphanage is not the only orphanage that has been in the U.S. that is actually closed, but it's a very big one. It would have over 200 kids, and these kids would come. They would be here in this orphanage, and at a magic age of 18, they would no longer be in the orphanage. But I want to tell you about another children's home where there was this young man who had been living there, never had permanency with a family, and he graduated from high school, and he went into the military. And he went through his basic training for military. He was deployed. He went overseas. And it came holiday time, and he was allowed to come home to his family for a holiday. Where did he go? He went to the orphanage. He had been gone so long. What do you think might have happened in the orphanage? Staff were gone. Staff had changed. They'd made changes. His room wasn't his room anymore. What did he go home to? A building. That's not permanency. That's not permanency. Permanency is a connection with a person. Permanency is a place at the table for a holiday. They have a chair. That's permanency. There's a family there. There's a connection with a person. And I look at this and I think of how many of our kids come out of institutions, go on to maybe university or military or get a job, and then they're going to have their first baby. Who do they call? Do they call the orphanage to talk to somebody, whoever answers the phone? Who do they call? And see, intervention, prevention, collaboration, living refreshed. That is the DNA of WWO. Every child has a right for safety, permanency, and well-being. A family that's loving and safe, and that will help them know their Heavenly Father. And we are the roadmap to help them on the way. I want to say to you that prevention is risk reduction. Collaboration is shared responsibility. Living refreshed is the capacity to be healthy and to have spiritual renewal. And that's when our interventions is going to be the most successful. It's when children are at their lowest because they've been hurt, they've been harmed. No one's protected them. But I want to answer the question that Susan started out with in our video. Who could have helped my mother to keep me at home? And group, it's you. Thank you.